Hi everyone and welcome to my kitchen. I'm so glad you're joining us today because we're making entomatadas, which are basically like enchiladas, but our main ingredient is going to be tomatoes instead of chilies.
Wait a minute. So you just replace the middle of the word and it makes it entomatadas?
So kind of like the beginning is you take away the chili, enchiladas, and you add in the tomatadas, tomato. You get the point, right? All right, let's remove the stem area from 2 pounds of vine-ripe tomatoes. Now you can use any kind of tomatoes, but I went to the store and to be honest, those Roma tomatoes were looking pretty sad. So I just went ahead and picked my best option, which were vine-ripe. Roughly dice them. Tomatoes, tomatoes, and more tomatoes. I feel like I'm in tomato land. Let's transfer this into a bowl. Also do the same thing with 1/4 of a medium white onion. Set it aside. And I've also prepped 2 guajillo peppers and I removed the seeds and the stem. These are rinsed and drained. Plus, we're gonna need 3 peeled garlic cloves. Let's head over to the stove. Let's start making that sauce. Place a large pan over medium-low heat and heat a couple of tablespoons of avocado oil. When ready, saute the onions and garlic and just stir as needed. The onions have now started to soften. I'm gonna increase the heat to medium because we're gonna add the tomatoes. And this is gonna help release those juices, get them nicely cooked until they're super soft. The ingredients look ready, don't you think? I think so. Pour in 2 cups of low sodium chicken broth. That way we can adjust our own seasoning. And I have about 5 sprigs of fresh oregano. I'm just gonna remove those leaves and allow this to reach a boil. Finally, the guajillos, and I know I said this was tomato based, but this is gonna be our support system right here. It's gonna add a nice body to the sauce. Try it, you're gonna love it. And as you may know, guajillos are mild in heat. All right, turn off the heat and remove this from the burner. Allow it to sit in here for about 5 to 10 minutes because we want those guajillos to rehydrate and soften. Time for the filling. We're gonna need 4 cups of shredded chicken. Now you can cook your own or buy a rotisserie chicken, which is exactly what I did. Simple and easy. We're just gonna enhance it with a few ingredients, which are gonna be 1 minced garlic, 1/4 of a medium white onion diced, 1 diced tomato, and 1/2 cup of low sodium chicken broth. Heat a little bit more oil over medium-low heat. That's about 2 tablespoons. Once nice and hot, add those onions and saute them until they begin to soften. Add in the garlic. Saute this for about 1 more minute. Add the tomatoes and let them do the exact same thing. Slightly soften. And I'm just gonna increase that heat to medium. All right, add the shredded chicken. Give it a quick stir so all the ingredients marry each other. Oops, guess what I found? A bone. Sorry, don't do that.
It adds flavor.
Really? You're gonna use my own words against me? I'm telling you.
I was just trying to save it, but okay.
Hey, the good thing is he listens. Now to add a little bit of moisture in there in case we lost some in that chicken, add in the chicken broth. Stir everything. And just let the chicken reheat back up again, about 2 to 3 minutes. The broth has evaporated, the chicken is nice and hot. The last thing is taste it, and if it needs salt, add it. I'm just gonna do a pinch because that's all it needs. About 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt and stir that in. Turn up the heat, Cover the pan so the chicken doesn't dry out. And it's ready. Back to the sauce. Pour all of those ingredients into a blender cup and be very careful. You may want to spoon it in there. Cover and blend until completely smooth. Make sure you allow that blender to really break all of that chili skin. Frying the sauce is a very common technique in Mexican cuisine because it intensifies the flavors and thickens that sauce. And that's what we're doing right now. So heat a couple of tablespoons of oil, and I'm doing this over medium heat. Adding a few slices of onion really helps to infuse that oil with flavor and fragrance. So I'm gonna be adding a quarter of a medium white onion. Stir that in, saute it until it is lightly browned. Carefully pour in the sauce. Let me get all of it out. Look at that body, look at that smoothness. This is gently simmering. Lower the heat to medium-low and allow it to cook for 5 minutes. We don't want it to reduce a whole lot. At last, season the sauce to taste. I'm gonna be adding 1 3/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. Also pour in 1 tablespoon of white distilled vinegar and mix it in. Look at that consistency. That's what you want. This is ready. I'm just gonna leave this on low heat, the lowest setting. I don't want this to reduce anymore. I just want to keep it warm. And here we have our corn tortillas, which are still from yesterday, nice and cold, which is gonna help them from breaking when we fry them. Heat 3 tablespoons of oil over medium heat, and I am using a non-stick pan. That way we use less oil and those tortillas don't stick. Once hot, add them in there and just pan fry them until they soften. You don't want to crisp them up. And this is a fast process. It doesn't take very long. Nice and soft, as you can see. Remove them. And just keep doing the same thing with the rest. And feel free to add oil as needed. Coat those tortillas in there. You don't have to leave them in there for too long. Just a nice pass. Add some of that delicious chicken. And let's be generous. Crumble the queso fresco. And fold it like a nice taco. To serve, spoon some of the sauce onto the bottom of the plate. Arrange those entomatadas and coat them with more sauce. Drizzle or dollop some Mexican style cream or sour cream. Top with shredded iceberg lettuce. Pickle the red onions. And I'll leave you the link to this recipe in the description area. Pickle the jalapenos, and these are optional. Sliced radishes and garnish with a few leaves of cilantro. Guys, I love entomatadas. They're so good. But unfortunately, I cannot afford 3 corn tortillas, even though I love them. So I have an alternative for myself. Almond tortillas. And all I did was get them nice and hot, toasty, but not crispy because you want them to be flexible and not break. Then I went ahead and filled them the same exact way, but instead of dipping the tortilla, I actually spooned the sauce on top because they do have a different texture than corn tortillas, so I didn't want them to get soggy. And just do everything the same exact way. Oh boy. I'm so happy with the end result of almond flour tortillas.
Seems interesting. Let me try it.
Go ahead. They're so good. I find homemade are so much better than store-bought. Plus they hold better, so you definitely want to give this a try. Would you eat a whole plate of almond tortillas?
It's very similar.
Isn't this tomato sauce just amazing?
So good.
Oh. Guys, I hope you try this recipe. Remember that you can follow me on all of my social media platforms. Don't forget to smash that like button. Come on, Nelson, let's smash.
You will find the recipe on viacocina.com as always. And until the next one, you guys, we're gonna go eat.
Thank you. Bye.